Good mo Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps at sa ating mga bisita. President Duterte will visit Israel and Jordan next week. To give us more details, let's now have Yusek Ernesto Abella of the Department of Foreign Affairs.
Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. President Rodrigo Duterte is undertaking historic visits on September 2 to 8 to renew and expand ties with Israel and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan upon invitation of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan. These trips will be the first by a sitting Philippine president to both countries. The visits will mark historic milestones, benefit trade, and strengthen relationships with key partners in the Middle East. In the past, we have enjoyed close historical, diplomatic, humanitarian, and people-to-people ties with Israel. With Israel, we are celebrating the 81st anniversary of the open doors policy of the Philippines under then-President Manuel L. Quezon, who offered shelter to more than 1,000 Jews escaping the Holocaust in Europe. We are also marking the 71st anniversary of the United Nations Partition Plan, which the Philippines supported, the only Asian nation to do so, and which paved the way for the creation of the State of Israel. We are also commemorating the 61st anniversary of the formal establishment of bilateral relations between the Philippines and Israel. Israel was among the first countries to aid the Philippines during Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda in 2013. There are an estimated 28,300 OFWs in Israel as of 2017. Also, in the past, we have enjoyed close diplomatic and people-to-people ties with the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. With Jordan, it will be an opportunity to return the visit of the late King Hussein, who visited the Philippines 42 years ago. His visit on the 1st of March 1976 also marked the formal establishment of diplomatic relations between Jordan and the Philippines. There are an estimated 40,000 OFWs in Jordan as of 2017. Now, both these visits will be a huge leap in the Philippines' bilateral partnerships with both countries after decades of diplomatic relations. Today, we are to build on these relationships, and our nations have much to gain from deepening ties, enhancing economic cooperation, sharing expertise in science and agriculture. With Israel, with this first ever visit of a Filipino president, the areas of cooperation will be enhanced by the signing of the following agreements. Labor, a memorandum of agreement on the employment of Filipino caregivers. Science, a memorandum of understanding on scientific cooperation. Investment, an MOU between the Board of Investments and Invest in Israel. In the future, we expect improvements in deployment procedures and the elimination of excessive placement fees imposed on Filipino workers bound for Israel. We also expect progress resulting from cooperation in the areas of science and agriculture. We also expect enhanced two-way trade and investments. The renewal and expansion of our relations with Israel is in pursuit of our friends to all, enemies to none foreign policy. The Philippines expects to do its part in promoting peace and stability in the region. With Jordan, we are elevating our relationship with the kingdom with the first ever visit of a Filipino president to Jordan on the 6th to the 8th of September 2018. The areas of cooperation to be enhanced are: 1. Labor, agreement on the employment of domestic workers, and also a memorandum of understanding on labor cooperation. We expect improvement of working conditions of Filipino domestic workers bound for Jordan. Next, defense. Memorandum of Understanding on Defense Cooperation. We expect an upgrade of the country's defense capabilities. 3, foreign affairs. Political consultations on trade and investment. We are expecting an investment agreement with Jordan Investment Commission. We also expect enhancement of two-way trade and investments. Lastly, a mutual recognition of STCW, or Standard of Training and Certification of Watchkeepers for seafarers. The renewal and expansion of our relations with the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan is in pursuit of our friends to all, enemies to none foreign policy. The Philippines hopes to do its part in promoting peace and stability in the region. Strengthening ties with these nations will promote economic growth, create new employment opportunities, and enhance security. A closer relationship with these nations means more opportunity to share expertise with each other in the fields of science, agriculture, industry, and counterterrorism. Thank you. End of statement.
MPC, you have questions? Raymond Tinasa. Microphone, Benji. Put the microphone, please.
Sir, good morning. Sir,
Good
is
morning,
it the growing tension between Israel and Jordan now? Jordan threatening to scrap the peace agreement with Israel, not as a threat, or a concern, rather, a concern for the president's trip.
Come again?
Isn't the growing tension now between Jordan and Israel a concern to the president, to his visit to the Middle East, to that area?
Actually, at this stage, we have, as we said, we have multilateral relations, and as we pointed out, we're friends to all and enemies to none, and this should not serve as any, it should not serve as any obstacle with our ongoing bilateral relationships with each of these nations. Go ahead.
So he will actually visit Jerusalem.
We're visiting Israel. The actual itinerary should be outlined soon. It should be seen soon.
So not yet to be confirmed if he will go actually to Jerusalem. I mean, a contested area between the Palestine and the Israelites.
We will be. We will clarify that. Thank you.
Last, sir. Sir, you mentioned a memorandum of agreement on science. In what area, specific area of science, considering, well, Israel is one of the most advanced in terms of research?
As far as we know, it is about technologies that which would enhance our lifestyle, enhance our technological capabilities.
Thank you, sir.
It's basically the MOU is meant to promote research exchanges in scientific fields which both parties deem important to achieve sustainable growth. This may be research projects of scientists of both countries. It may also be regarding joint seminars and other scientific meetings which will be mutually beneficial to both countries. Thank you.
Sir, last point. I understand the Defense Department, our Defense Department already purchased last May 2018 of about some spikes ER, the missile. Do we have plan in that visit to purchase more of these kind of spikes?
Those topics actually are not on the official list of subjects that will be discussed. Maybe it's best referred to the appropriate department.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Marisol Halili, to be followed by Benji.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Speaking of yung mga firearms, during the visit of the President in Israel, will there be any discussion on security? I'm asking this because of the statement of the President saying that he will be bringing some retiring military officials in his visit to Israel.
Regarding the visits, as he said, I think it was meant to be a gift, but actually they will also be exposed to to the latest developments. pertaining to their areas of expertise. So they may be, I believe the Philippine Embassy is arranging some exposure trips for these gentlemen.
So there will be a different agenda for the retiring officials.
They have their own program. Their own program.
Sir, dun po sa memorandum of understanding in Jordan with regards doon sa defense,
Opo.
cooperation, can you give us more particular details about it? What does it mean? Defense cooperation, will there be a training?
It's something that has to be, it's something that has to be ascertained. Hold on. There are no specifics regarding the matter at this stage, but there will be discussions, but there are no specifics as stated here.
Sir, last na lang
Yes,
po. Sino po yung bubuo ng delegation?
Do we have a list? As of this moment, we do not have a complete list. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Benji Liwanag.
Sir, good morning. On
Yes,
the
sir.
labor and employment, can you update us on that, sir? Especially Jordan and Israel.
The agreement on the employment of domestic workers, okay? The agreement establishes the proper procedures for the recruitment, the deployment, and arrival of Filipino domestic workers in Jordan through licensed Jordanian recruitment agencies in partnership with licensed Philippine recruitment agencies. The agreement provides that the recruitment and employment of Filipino domestic workers will be governed by a standard employment contract and other measures that will ensure the protection of the rights and welfare of workers. Finally, the agreement provides for the obligations of both the employer and employee. In other words, it's going to be a transparent and clear and standardized.
Aside from domestic workers, are they going to hire any other skills from the Philippines?
I think they may be opening that, but at this stage, this is the one that has really been given emphasis on.
Thank you.
Darrell, then Rosalie. Microphone, please. Darrell, nasa likod mo, Darrell.
Hi, sir. Good morning. For background lang, sir. Sir, can you explain to us why no Filipino president has visited Israel, given the special ties between the two countries?
I cannot speculate on that. However, the president has seen it fit to this particular stage to strengthen these ties, considering that there is an increasing engagement of Filipinos in that particular area of the world. So regarding that matter, we cannot answer for the past administrations, but I believe at this stage it is the president who has seen fit to see it because of our growing and expanding horizons.
So, sir, considering that this is the first visit of a Filipino leader, aside from signing agreements, what else does the president plan to do to make this landmark visit historic and special?
Like I said, it's already one of the things that it will be is he will be meeting with the Filipino community, and already there's a clamor because there are approximately 28,300 Filipinos in the area. However, I think the space is only about 1/5, so it may be a little bit, but it should be okay. It should be an exciting and historic, because the people really have been wanting the president to go there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Rosalie, then to be followed by Ai. Makaring.
Hi, sir. Good morning po.
Yes, ma'am.
Yusek. Sir, na-mention ni President before the reason why he wants to visit Israel is to also check on the condition of the overseas Filipino workers. Marami po ba sa mga OFW ang nasa mga conflict areas? Can you give us a report on their condition?
Regarding the specifics, we don't have the specifics right now, but certainly there's need to clarify the working conditions, there's need, for example, regarding labor cooperation, on labor cooperation between the DOLE and the Ministry of Labor of Jordan, there's still need to determine the regulation of the deployment of labor, the development of a database, the exchange of information, and the promotion and protection of the welfare of workers, among others. So, it's specific to Jordan. There doesn't seem to be at this stage any drastic cry for the well-being, but there is a demand for the improvement of procedures in order to ensure that the well-being of workers there, laborers are ensured.
So, President Duterte is pertaining to the working conditions, not necessarily yung pong security situation ng mga kababayan po natin.
I'm sure
sa mga
kasama
bansa.
na po yan, considering that
Pero marami po bang naiipit ng mga Pilipino sa gulo, sir?
as far as we know, wala naman po.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Ai, and then last question na tayo kay Pia. Only pa. Sige. Ai, please.
Hi, good morning, Yusek. Sir, here po.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, there have been reports back in December that the Philippines is considering to move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and there have also been reports that this will be discussed during the president's trip. Could you confirm that is it on the agenda? And second, what's the position of the Philippines on the status of Jerusalem? Thank you.
This is actually not a topic of discussion, but definitely the visit is about strengthening ties and enhancing economic cooperation and sharing of expertise to overcome, shared challenges. On the other hand, as the SFA has said, that the Philippines is really a friend to all and enemies to none, and there are certain sensitivities that we are aware of, considering that we do have partners in the Middle East area, so other partners. Okay, so there is a sensitivity to those matters. So, but if you're asking for officially, it is not on the topic of discussion.
And sir, on a related question, is there a scheduled visit by the president to the Palestinian side?
As far as I know, none.
Sir, last from my end, you mentioned the friends to all, enemies to none foreign policy. The president being the first Philippine leader to visit Israel, is this part of his policy to expand the Philippines' alliances beyond traditional allies?
Definitely, it's widening our horizons, and so that we are able to strengthen our relationships with the rest of the nations. This is part of our, and especially so because Filipinos are all over the world, and so it is quite crucial that we're able to have better relationships with our host countries.
Pia?
Hi, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
is the DFA concerned that the president's visit to Israel will affect relations with other countries that do not recognize Israel as a state, specifically yung mga Arab countries?
Like we said, ma'am, we are aware of certain sensitivities, but I believe we have reached a stage of maturity in our relations that they understand. Each one of them, for example, those host countries with whom we consider partners, they are aware also that we are in relationship with other nations, for example, like Israel. So it is important that we strike a balance. But if you're asking, is it going to propose a challenge? I believe not. I believe the president has proven in many, many ways, again and again, that it is possible to have this kind of independent foreign policy while satisfying the demands and needs of each particular relation.
Also, sir, the president's earlier remark about Hitler slaughtering millions of Jews continue to haunt him. Do you think it will pose a challenge, especially dun sa the acceptance of the Israelis to the president when he visits?
The president has already addressed that way back. In fact, he made a visit to the synagogue, to the local synagogue here, and obviously he was taken out of context regarding that matter. But also regarding the actual relationships with with Israel. The Israelis deeply appreciate his stand and his position and his administration.
Hindi naman, sir, sa binubuhay ulit niyo yung topic, pero I just want to clarify that the government is insisting that the president was taken out of context dun sa statement niya na yun.
Ang sinasabi ko po, na-address na po siya. Thank you.
Also,
Next
sir,
question.
last na lang, sir, there are also human rights groups that are protesting his visit. Is the government concerned about it, sir?
Well, as you very well know, Israel is a very liberal and outspoken country, and just like the Philippines is, and you know the context seems to be quite similar in that sense that people are free to voice their opinion. However, this is part of the landscape, and it is something that we take in stride.
Okay, last three, Ina, Christine, and then Ace.
Hi, sir. Sir, just
Yes,
a
ma'am.
clarification. You mentioned standard employment contract that we're eyeing. Will this be both with Jordan and Israel, and will this be similar to the one we had with Kuwait?
It will be, yes, there'll be specifics. It will be unique to both. It's sort of bespoke. But the intention, and the final intention is the same, that to ensure the well-being and protection, especially protection of our workers.
Will the guidelines, the conditions set in the contract or the agreement with Kuwait be similar to the ones we want with Jordan and Israel?
Like I said, the final intention will be to protect and to ensure the well-being of the workers. Regarding the specifics, we can bring it back to you if necessary.
Thank you.
Okay, Christine?
Sir, just details. You said earlier that it was the Israeli and Jordanian leaders who invited the president
Yes, ma'am.
for this visit. When exactly, was this a recent, for Israel, was this a recent invitation or an earlier one that the president just took up recently?
Okay. The invitation from Israel came last year through a telephone call, and the invitation from Jordan arrived this year.
And just, the president just made this decision to go there.
It is a decision
Last
to
year,
go to visit.
Okay, last question, Virgil.
So may we know kung ano yung madidiscuss during the meeting between King Abdullah and the president?
We don't have the details regarding that, but again, it will cover a lot of it will cover the 6 points that we already stated that we listed down earlier. So it should be in general, it will be to establish strengthened relations with the host country, and to be able to better ensure the comfort and well-being and protection of our people there.
Okay, sorry, last question, Raymond Tinasa.
Sir, on a lighter note, will the president be visiting any place in the Holy Land, like Bethlehem, the Galilee?
I'm sure that he will be visiting. I cannot give you the specifics of where he will be going, exactly where, but he will be visiting significant spots.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat, Yusek Ernesto Abella. Maraming salamat, Malacañang Press Corps, back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.